can time it right. And I almost did. Welcome to The Word, episode 400. What is the date today? Episode,
April 12th.
It's April 12th. You'd think I would know that because I just had to type that in the description of the video. Very special program today. We've got, I always jump around when we do intros. The name of the show is The Word. I'm James Mundia, joined by my partner in crime, Richard Bruce De Niro Abernathy. You know, I actually,
Nice.
before I was texting you before the show started and G-chatting with our guest, and I was watching the movie Ronin before I started today. Have you seen this picture?
I've never seen Ronin.
You know, it's on Amazon Prime if you have it. I really recommend it. It's one of those movies that, you know, much in the vein of like 48 Hours or Beverly Hills Cop. Not a comedy, but we take a lot of the stuff that happens in this movie like for granted in like action movies now. So it's a good. I'm sorry, the camera's like it's not moving automatically. There we go. So big program today. We've got The Godfather in the studio. Joe Hafera joining us from. I'm actually not sure. I think he's in the Massachusetts area. We'll let him talk about that. A little bit of background. Joe is, as we talked about last week, the creator of the program that we eventually piggybacked on to create The Word, which was junior year of college that you and I did The Word, Rich?
Yeah, after your hiatus.
Oh, that's right, because, oh, wait a minute. No. That was that junior year or was that senior year? Because
Junior and senior year.
I quit. What did I do? I did like, oh, that's right. I came back from like my semester off of school, and I
You went on
didn't want to do a show because part of the reason why I had academic like problems essentially is I spent too much time in the studio. So then you convinced me. I remember that AIM conversation. You're like, look, we're just going to come back. We're going to do it like Mike and Mike in the morning, just in the studio, no fancy. We don't need a crew, just us. And then that's how The Word started. But that show started from The Early Word, which was a creation of our guest, Joe, The Godfather.
/ Feedback Live.
Which was a spin-off of Feedback Live. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring Joe in. I want to let him introduce himself, and because there's so many different layers to this. We're bringing you in for the Masters recap, but you're also kind of like the creator of the program. So I mean, there's a lot to go over here. I mean, we could go deep into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, guys, pleasure to be here. I just gotta say, people gotta, we gotta stop looking for angels and we gotta start looking for angles. And that's what we're all here trying to do. Can't control what's happened to you. You just gotta control what you can do, what you can make happen. So happy to be here. It's been what, 10 years?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, far too long. And on a special occasion like this, I think we need a special teams captain in the room.
Special teams captain.
Oh my goodness. So we got Joe Hafera in the studio. I put this in an email I sent out today to some prospective guests. I said, we got a guy coming in the studio today that's created the show, but he also, and we're bringing you in to talk about the Masters as well. You've also spent some time, really intimately with some of the guys on tour. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I actually myself am a little bit unclear. I know you work for Titleist. That isn't in itself clear, but
Yeah.
what's the skinny?
Yeah, so I've been at Titleist almost 10 years now. It'll be 9 years this summer, but my current role is the manager of video content for Titleist. So any TV commercial or web video you might see on our YouTube channel or Facebook or TV or running during a PGA Tour event, I was either in charge of or at least part of. So I met Jordan Spieth, the man of the discussion this week. I met him in 2000 and I want to call it 14, but when he was still an amateur, I met him out at Congressional the week of the Quicken Loans, which was one of he would have just turned pro or not yet a pro. I can't remember, to be honest with you, but it was before he won the John Deere. So yeah, I work with these guys at film shoots, when we do commercial shoots, or when we do any web video content. And pretty much anyone that plays a Titleist golf ball, any of the top 50 in the world, I've definitely spent time with and know on a professional level and like a commercial shoot familiarity. And guys like Adam Scott I've known since 2010, going back a ways. And so yeah, Ricky Fowler, Bubba Watson, Jordan Spieth, Henrik Stenson. Those guys, they're not my homies, but when I see them, I know them. They know me. There's a professional level of respect there, much like you and Jackie Manuel back in the day.
Stop it right now. Stop. Oh my! See, this is what I'm afraid of. I emailed other people today, like, I want you guys to come on the show, but understand there needs to be topics. I don't want it to be just a roast. Jackie Manuel. Wait. Oh my God. Is he still? Don't tell me he's still the strength coach at Carolina. Is he?
The Galaxy is still trying to control his shoulders.
Is he still the strength coach at Carolina, or did he move on somewhere?
I don't know.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so what is you? Do you have a strong take on the finish this weekend at Augusta? I mean, you're a professional, or you're obviously a professional, but you also work in the industry. You kind of see this. It's part of your job. Maybe not from a journalist perspective, but what is your reaction? Do you think that people are kind of going overboard, much like we saw at the end of the Carolina game last week, or what do you think?
Well, I think the media has a job to do, and that's fill airtime and sell magazines and talk about things. So it's definitely overblown at this point. The fact of the matter is he made a bad swing, and then he made a bad decision, just like your baseball coach teaches you in second grade, don't compound mistakes. He got, he wasn't really swinging the club great all tournament, and his short game, not even a short game, but his wedge play, anytime he's inside 150 yards, from there in, he's the best in the world. And he got, coming off the 11th green there, he had recovered again from a bad tee shot, hit a good wedge into the 11th green, missed the putt there. I think missing the putt there was in his head a little bit. 12th hole, makes a bad swing, makes another bad swing, and I think that was clearly it. I mean, it was going to be impossible to come back from that. He came close, but without being cliche, that's just the nature of golf. You're in a major tournament and you make one or two bad swings, especially when there's a water hazard, you can lose 4 shots, and that makes all the difference in the world. I don't think it's really anything more than that. He'll be back. He's a great player. He's 5 top 5s in the last 5 majors, and he won 2 of them and almost won a third. So I think he'll be fine. I think the potential for him to win 5 Masters is still there. He's 22 years old, and he'll be fine. It just, that happens, and it was brutal to watch, that's for sure. But he obviously handled it fine. I think his caution going forward, I would say, is he doesn't become a caricature of himself. I mean, talks to his golf ball a lot, makes lots of hand gestures. He's very puts himself out there, and other great athletes in their prime, different generations, sure, but we didn't have social media when Jordan or Tiger were on the outswing of their careers, but they were certainly pretty close to the vest, I would say, and just hope Jordan's done a great job of that so far, and hopefully he continues that, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine, and Danny Willett shot 67, deserved to win, and Jordan didn't deserve to win. I think it's as simple as that.
Joe Hafera joining us in the studio, the creator of the word in as many words, talking about the Masters. I have a real. Oh, that's right. I should have been more formal. Joe Hafera from Titleist. Give us some street cred here.
Street cred. Film crew hat. Can't buy it. You can only earn it. You know?
I was just about to ask, how do I get one of those?
It's like an intramural T-shirt. You got to earn that, baby.
That's right.
Here's
Rich.
a question, Joe. Did you ever get? I played on a couple intramural teams with you. Did you ever get? I know we never got a title together, but did you ever get one? Because that wasn't something that eluded me my entire college career.
I lost, I believe, in 3 championship games, 3 different sports: soccer, football, and basketball.
Okay.
Brutal.
It's hard out there, man. It's hard out there.
Those, those refs at Woolen, they're tough.
Don't even start. Who was our boy? That one dude. He ended up being on STV after a while, and he had it out for me. And I mean, maybe you too, probably. It's just,
the memories escape me. Concussion brain. If Bruce Arians had told my mom not to let me play football, I'd probably remember. But
oh my God.
He wasn't there to tell Mary that Joe shouldn't play football, and so a couple of concussions later, I can't remember that ref.
And so where are you located now? Are you in the greater New England area? That's not a greater area. You're in New England. You're not in California.
No. I've been outside of Boston for about 3 years. No, it'll be 4 years this summer. So the Titleist headquarters are about an hour south of Boston. I live in the Providence area, but do a lot of work in Boston and Fairhaven, Massachusetts, old fishing town, is where headquarters are.
Okay.
But
Excellent.
Bounce around. I won't be down in Ponte Vedra this year, Rich. I don't know if that's where you still are, but
I'm still down there. And somehow, despite us working both in the golf industry for the better part of a decade, we have never crossed paths out of an event. It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah. I won't be at the, what's it called? Palma Fish Valley Camp. What's that place called
Palma
down
Valley
there?
Fish Camp. Yeah.
Yeah. Won't be down there this year.
No Barbara Jeans for you. No Taco Lou.
No.
Oh.
Sorry, James.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. It sounds like a good time, though.
See, you at least tell me that you're not gonna be there. James just drives right by and doesn't even stop and wave or say hi or anything.
Man. I'm never gonna live that down. I thought about it. It was legitimately.
That's even worse. I don't know how, but it's worse.
It was legitimately 12 or 1 o'clock, and I was or maybe a little bit earlier than that. I was driving my car back up, Joe, from Miami because I left it there when I just disappeared from Miami. And I went down and picked it up, and I drove through the Jacksonville area. But it was late at night, but I was it would make sense if I hit up Rich. I was can I just post up and then finish the drive later? And I dropped the ball. Yeah, so...
one of these years I'll forgive you. It's okay.
When was the last time? I haven't seen. Last time I saw Richard Bruce was holy cow.
I was up your way.
You were in D.C., yeah. And we went out to dinner after I think I had just finished a training session. And the last time I ran into DJ Half-Life, how long ago was that? I mean, that was
a while ago.
Would have been in D.C. too.
Oh, you know when it was? It was when we went to what's the Asian club? Park.
There you go.
Yep. And I was this is the last time I'm ever going out. I forgot, you go to a club and you think you have all your ducks in a row, and they still make you dance through hoops. I'm look, take $20, take it. Just let me inside the building. No, you're not on the list. I gave you the name of the person whose birthday it is. It was $20. I just gave you $20. So what is it was like an Abbott and Costello skit. Unbelievable.
Club life's no joke. Went to a club for the first time in a while, a couple weeks ago for my girlfriend's a family party for her older sister, and we went out afterwards to the club. It was in Boston, lots of bridges and tunnelers out there taking the highways into town, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember what this is like. A lot of people standing around paying $12 for a craft beer. That's good. What is that?
That's real life, man. It's still happening.
Isn't there Tinder for that now or something? You still got to go and buy your cheap date. Crazy.
What's up? Go ahead. I cut you off there.
No, I was trying to see what you were feeling like. Golden State 73 wins. Going to happen? What's up?
Well, Richard Bruce predicted a couple. Actually, one of the first shows that we ever did of this podcast. He predicted that 4 teams, or was it Two teams.
No, I thought San Antonio and Golden State both had a good shot to get there.
Well, they did.
Honestly, if the Spurs hadn't rested some guys, they could have been knocking on the door of 70 also.
Yeah.
But I think the Dubs got it tomorrow night, although Memphis gave them a nice little push over the weekend. So you can't. It's not a stone cold lead pipe lock at this point.
What on the NBA tip? We're going to return. Well, we're going to stay on this, but I do want to get to LeBron because I've just the past week I've been moving, so I haven't been paying much attention to the news. I didn't realize
you taking your talent. You taking your talent somewhere else?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I guess I haven't actually caught up with you. We just kind of threw you on the broadcast. I actually my port of call now is Atlanta.
Love it.
ATLian.
Yeah, so I just got here last week, but apparently in the past 24 to 48 hours, look, there's been this like social media like blow up with LeBron's like side piece or whatever. So I want to get back to that at some point. But let's stay on the Warriors here. So we're banging on the door. Is this a foregone conclusion?
73 wins, absolutely. He'll get that. It's at home at the Oracle. I don't see how they don't. I think the bigger question is, do you watch Kobe's 12-point performance on 35 shots tomorrow night, or are you tuning in to see, Golden State? I think Golden State wins, and I don't think it'll be a big deal. I think when it happens, it'll just be like, okay. I mean, because you got to get ready for the playoffs. You can't like get excited that you won 73 games. It's like we did it, great, moving on, playoffs.
Yeah, can I offer a Warriors hot take real quick? For all the hand-wringing about, they need to rest players and this, that, and the other, I think it's good that they had something to kind of play for and keep them sharp. Because otherwise, I mean, they locked up the 1 seed a little while ago. Like, I think it's nice to get those reps in competitive games and close games and not put it on cruise control for a week and a half and then try to rep things back up once the playoffs start. I thought it was actually kind of good for them.
Yeah, not to get too cross-disciplinary, but on the ice, my hometown Washington Capitals, they locked up the 1 seed like in January, and they stopped playing for things. They had a goalie that could set a record. They had a lot of people that could have set records, and they just shut it down and coasted into the playoffs. So there's two contrasting styles that both get underway this week. We'll see how that pans out. Puck luck tomorrow night, James. Puck luck.
Actually, I can't deal with you right now because Joe Afera is the originator. For those of you that are just tuning in, the originator of the program that led to this podcast. And yeah, I mean, really like you're like a broadcast coach, really, when you think about it. You're like I'm not sharp enough to come up with an analogy here, but we did a lot of live TV in college. I'll tell you what, that live TV is a different animal. But wait. So we got NHL playoffs starting. I didn't realize that was starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, man. Yeah, NHL drops the puck earlier than the NBA, but I think it lasts almost nearly as long. But yeah.
What's your Stanley Cup Finals prediction?
Well, I had to go with the Caps because even though they love to disappoint, there are really few other teams that disappoint in the playoffs like the Washington Capitals. But I have them winning over the Ducks.
The Ducks. I thought you might have gone Kings.
So not to get too into the NHL here, but the top side of the bracket on the West, you got Chicago, St. Louis, and Dallas, who are all amazing teams. But I just feel like they kind of beat each other up. And then Anaheim has been playing really good. And I don't know, just like the Ducks. I think I like the Ducks because it's one of the few teams I think we could beat. Because I don't see us beating Chicago if they're to find their way back there. And Dallas is probably one of the few teams that can outskate us. Hockey analysis, James.
Is John Sebastian Jaguar still the goalie for the Ducks? Is he still there?
I think so, yeah.
You broke James.
I broke him. He didn't know we were getting into hockey.
He's done.
Rich, so like Amanda,
Speechless.
Amanda Balionis is out. Can I get a job? Can I get some airtime? What's up?
Well, come on down, but she's at your competitor Callaway now.
I know. I think you need to,
We need to bleep that later. It's an all title of show this week.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, who is this girl? I'm about to. We're about to go down the. See?
Now we can say that for after. We'll discuss offline, but dude, come on down. We have an opening.
James, I'll race you there. You're in Atlanta.
What? I think I can make it, but I need to see what we're talking about. Wait, who? This is a former colleague here.
It's the golf world's interesting right now. All these companies are doing very different things, and somebody from James's network, so to speak, left and now works for a competitor of mine, and she went from production company to manufacturing company. Pretty interesting move.
Yeah, things are sort of skewing towards the social media online format for a lot of content now. It's an interesting shift. There's more and more stuff is going that way with, I was here in New York for an event today, and we had a Facebook chat with the new President's Cup captains, and it's your standard traditional media outlets their roles are shifting. It's sort of an interesting thing to be kind of right in the middle of.
Should Rich, just a programming note, should we get in on that? Are we supposed to be doing something along those lines, or are we doing that now? I don't know.
We're on the line. We're on the line right now.
Oh, okay. So people can go on the line and get this show.
They can go on the line. Just when you get the next AOL disc in the mail, pop it in your computer, and use one of your 20 hours to watch the show.
Keyword sports news stuff. I guess keywords were really just hashtags like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can work with that. Let's go back to. All right. I need someone to explain the LeBron thing to me because I haven't watched the news. It got blown up.
That's the first I've heard of it when you said that earlier tonight.
Okay. Well.
So I'm not in the know.
As it was described to me on what is the ESPN? Okay. Do you have a briefing on that, Joe, or?
All I heard is that he hollered at some girl on Instagram with the direct message.
No, he did not send her a DM.
That was what I heard.
I had it hockey analysis. I can't get over that.
Yeah, so he sent her a DM, and she screenshotted it and posted it, but then deleted it. But of course, there's no point in deleting it at that point. And then
once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah, Barstool Sports, of course, got it, and they posted it. And I guess the interesting thing is, I think she's dating someone from the Cleveland Browns. So it's like it could be innocuous or it could be pretty shady.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess he has to unfollow her now because the playoffs are coming.
Zing.
I was gonna say, LeBron just needs to stay off of social media. Period. I'm starting to think. Like it just seems to never go right for him. Subtweeting teammates and following and unfollowing and sharing messages and.
Let me go back to the unfollowing and following thing. So I didn't realize because I've been through this drama recently in my life with that same kind of concept. So this is a big deal. Not the LeBron thing, but the following and unfollowing, that's something that's monitored.
People take it personally. I mean, I guess it won't like alert you, I don't think. But I mean, I'm sure if you go to like send someone like a message or you go to like their post or look at it and it shows that they're not following you or whatever, it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I've actually been through that before. It was a Facebook. I had unfriended one of my Carolina close friends had been dating someone, and they stopped dating while we were in college, and I had unfriended the significant other because she was now insignificant, and she saw me out one night and gave me a hard time about it. I was like, sorry, that's collateral damage, I guess.
Yeah, I no, I went through something similar in college. But speaking of which, Joe Hafera joining us in the studio from Titleist, providing a Masters recap, NBA chat, and now social media expertise. And it reminds me, the first person that I knew on Facebook was Joe Slipera. He actually said you need to get on this website. Only a couple schools have it, and I was like, what is Facebook? And then of course once I signed up with you had to sign up with your school email address back then because it was just certain schools that had it. Those were the only emails I got. Like it was like so and so's requested you as a friend. So and so's like just constant.
That and reply all to listserv emails.
Oh, stop. Oh my gosh. Oh man. No, I can't. We can't do that right now. That's a whole show.
Well, we had one the other day. Somebody replied all to like a work wide email, and then I guess we're like shifting over to a new email where I guess you have the ability to like try to recall an email that you sent or something.
Yeah, you can do that in some new versions of Outlook. Anyway,
yeah, so yeah, we're switching to Outlook. So it's like this person replied all and then tried to retract it, and then that still went out to everybody. So he like inadvertently doubled down on the reply all, trying to take it back instead of just letting it go.
That's so genius. What is more nerve-wracking than sending a corporate email to more than 3 people? Tell me what's more nerve-wracking than that, or trying to reply to just one person in the chain. Tell me what's more nerve-wracking than that. Tell me.
That's not, and it's also awful when you realize you like left the subject off the email. Like, there's no worse feeling than sending an email and there's not a subject on it.
We were like, well, yeah, what is this spam? Didn't you get the email? No, I didn't see anything with that. It's in the same chain. Oh man, sent mail folder. Talk about some 2016 problems. Anyway, moving on. So, okay, we were talking about social media there. I didn't realize how that was still something that wasn't just like a teenage, like, you unfollowed me. Like, apparently people really care about that kind of thing, which is a little bit.
Well, we don't know that his teammates cared. We know the media cared.
Yeah, because his thing every year is that he unfollows the Cleveland Cavaliers and all the media outlets, apparently to focus. So, like, I don't know who he does follow in the NBA, in the playoffs, but he's still looking at something on Twitter. But it's just another outward cry from LeBron, I feel like, for attention. At least it is now. I feel like he, at this point, just get over yourself. Just play basketball and don't worry about it.
So we were in school when this young fella came into the league in 2003, 2004. Does he stay with the Cavaliers? Did this work? Was it worth it? You said it's a cry for help. He needs to focus on basketball. Where do you see things going with him? What do you think about him? That's like 7 questions in one there.
Well, he's certainly not winning a title this year. Chances are he'll be in the finals. So I don't see how they beat either Golden State or San Antonio or Oklahoma City for that matter. And he's not certainly one of the best players in the league still, but not one of the high-profile players in the league because you got Curry, you got Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook even at this point. There's up-and-comers, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, he's on the radar, certainly, and he's the biggest draw globally, but he's not. I feel like I went all season and barely heard about a big game other than the alley-oop dunk he caught with his left hand and like dunked with his wrist. There was nary a LeBron James hyped moment during the season, I feel like, and a guy with an ego like that's got to be a little bit jealous of the spotlight, you'd think, especially if they don't win the finals this year. He's got to be thinking about, I don't know if he goes somewhere else or just demands more players. I mean, he's got a decent surrounding cast, right? But I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I still think he's in that upper tier. I mean, I think if Steph is 1, he's 1A as far as most popular players, biggest draw, guy people, talk about. But I think sort of similar, he's just been so good for so long and it doesn't change. Like, the numbers are just the same year in and year out, and people just kind of take it as a given and assume that he's going to do what he does, and sometimes he does kind of get lost in the shuffle, Joe. I agree. And maybe some of this other stuff was just him trying to, keep him and keep his team kind of in the spotlight with, what goes on. And I don't really understand some of it, and I don't know how great he is as a leader publicly. I mean, obviously privately I can't speak to that, but publicly some of the things he does are a little confusing. But I mean, I think you made a great point. He does seem a little frustrated that everybody's talking about Steph and everybody's talking about Russ and KD or Anthony Davis or Towns or whoever it is, and he just, his greatness kind of gets overlooked sometimes, as hard as that is to believe.
And maybe to bring it full circle, but I mean, last time we had a player this good who liked golf this much was Michael Jordan. When you think about Jordan Spieth, scratch golfer, or sorry, Stephen Curry, scratch golfer, tuned into the Masters on Sunday. Great
Did you
golfer.
see his reaction when he found out Spieth lost?
Yeah, I mean, guy loves him some golf. Fell to the ground like in disbelief. Maybe LeBron needs to take up golf. I don't know. Just saying.
So two kind of anthology comments here as we talk about the NBA playoffs. A couple weeks ago, Joe, I brought this up. Joe O'Farrill joining us in studio from Titleist, talking about NBA playoffs and how LeBron should take up golf. Brought this up a couple weeks ago on the program here, which was, do you remember a segment for that you proposed when we did the show a while back? Segment for the show. I'm going to see if you can guess this here because I'm going to ask you to do this in a second here.
The word trivia.
So a segment you proposed, it may have been for the Early Word, which was the show that started this program. I'm only going to give you one hint, is that it would have taken place in the pit at Carolina. And it may have involved chalk.
Oh, boy. I know I don't remember, but I love it. I want to, again, if Bruce Arians had told my mom not to play football, I could probably remember this, but I'm not remembering it right now.
The segment was Jump to Conclusions, where you actually jump to a conclusion in the pit. So we adopted that here on the program. We have 3 bold statements. So normally you get 3 bold statements throughout the show. We've actually since amended that to like 1.5 bold statements because it's a shorter program now.
James was abusing their privilege also.
Yeah. I've been known to make a lot of bold statements just in and out of the show, just to make them. That being said, let's get if you have one, we can return to it later on in the program. Let's get a. I mean, it's not even a bold statement. You're saying Warriors got it for the actual title this year.
For the title, yeah, I think home court advantage. They've got momentum. They've got the best player in the league. I think they've been resting people strategically throughout the year. I mean, Festus Ezelius. How do you say it? Festus Ezelius? Is that it? I don't even know. But that
no idea.
Iguodala, Bogut. I think if all those guys are healthy, those pieces around Curry and Klay Thompson, and they've got the home court advantage, I don't see how anyone comes in there and steals 1-2 games from them and a 7-game series, which you have to win at least one road game. And they're definitely going to win one road game of their own. So I think they win it. I think it's more entertaining than it was last year because now they're the marked team. Last year they were a bit of a, I wouldn't call them an underdog, but they hadn't done it yet, and now they've got the target on their back of defending champs, and everyone wants to beat them. So I think it could be a little bit chippier and maybe stiffer competition, but the Dubs get the another championship this year.
It's sort of like this show. We've set the bar really high, and the rest of the internet's coming at us, trying to outdo and outproduce the Word. So I can empathize with the Warriors plight.
It's a problem, yeah. Now everybody's coming after us, like calling us out on social media, and it's tough out there, man. You're trying to put together a podcast.
Yeah, SportsCenter unfollowed us, so. But the interesting thing about the Warriors that I realized the other day is, I guess most of their losses have come against teams that really aren't very good.
Yeah.
Like their record against the top teams is spectacular. I mean, other than the one loss to San Antonio, I mean, they've been kicking ass and taking names against the top teams of both conferences.
I think they had. I know they lost. They lost to Boston last week or 2 weeks ago, and they almost lost their first game of the year to Boston in December. So
Yeah.
they played two really tough games against the Celtics, which they're a 10 games above 500 ball club, but they're not the class of the NBA by any chance. So yeah, they seem to have played down a couple times, and it was like at the end of a road trip they lost to Milwaukee. They lost at home to Boston. That was what ended the home game streak. But
Got killed by Portland. I mean, they were down like 20. The Lakers too. I mean, they've had a couple bad showings, but it's always against the teams where maybe it was just kind of hard to get up for that game.
yeah,
Do you concur, Rich, with the Warriors kind of team to beat for the title?
Yeah, I can't go against Platinum Joe over there. I gotta agree.
A lot of nicknames. I mean, that's really, I try to give Rich a new nickname every show, or at least a new third middle name. But Joe Hafera has got a lot of nicknames.
That's what a gigaram will get you, baby.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I probably tell that story at least once a year. The facts get looser and looser every time, but it's still
I
good.
respect it. Run with it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sort of like our infamous car ride discussing Darren and his prowess.
I'm stopping the
Tell that
broadcast
story once a
now.
year.
Oh my goodness. I missed out on that one. Okay, so let's switch back to golf for a little bit while we're talking about bold statements. We talked a lot about Tiger Woods last week on the show, Joe. I was speaking about him in the sense, by the way, for those of you just joining us, we've got Joe Hafera in the studio, creator of one of the shows that we eventually spun off to make this program.
He's like the J.J. Abrams to our Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse.
This is why Richard Bruce Abernathy is the executive producer of this program, because how do you pull that kind of a reference just out of thin air?
It was a very topical show that went off the air 5 years ago reference. I'm very proud of it.
But Joe Hafera from Titleist joining us. So we talked about Tiger Woods last week, and the way that I was referencing him in a very poor attempt at comedy was to talk about him as if he was somebody that we may not remember if you hadn't been watching golf, in the past, year or two. And the point I was trying to make is, whenever it came time for the azaleas to bloom and for us to go to Augusta National, he was always in the conversation, even if he wasn't playing his best golf. My question to Rich last week, and I'll pose it to you as we talk about some of the other majors that are coming up here, since it's major tournament season. Does he come up with at least one more major tournament? Rich said yes last week.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, 100 times yes.
DJ
So the question is, does he win another major?
A major. I'm not. Actually, I think last week I asked if he was going to compete in one, but I'm just talking about winning. That may have been a little bit dramatic.
I would say at this point, if I had to place a bet on it, I would say yes, absolutely. He's 41 years old, right, Rich?
40. Turns 41 in December.
So he's 40 years old. If you look at this, even last week's Masters, Watson and Bernhard Langer, Watson's 66, Langer's 50-something. And those guys, Watson missed the cut, but barely at 66. And Langer was in the top 5 positions up until Sunday.
Right.
But I think the difference between him and those guys is, if you want to very broadly speak, he still has a modern golf swing where when he's healthy, and granted he's not healthy, but I'd be shocked if in the next year or two he's not healthy. Mm-hmm. And he's too good of an athlete that at age 40, if Phil Mickelson can pull it off, he can certainly pull it off. He's got, obviously, all the mental and physical that he needs to, or he had it at one point. And I just can't believe that I think the one outlier is a debilitating injury. Like if this back thing refuses to ever get healthy, then that rules it out. But if he can get healthy, I don't see like how a guy of his talent, especially at Augusta tournament that the course never changes and he knows so well, he can't just show up and, I mean, wouldn't it surprise me if that guy could win a tournament after 50? It would be an incredible story. It would take some incredible heroics, but if anyone could do it, he's certainly the guy to do it. And granted, I'm not a Tiger hater or fan. I'm pretty unbiased when it comes to Tiger, but just looking at the guy's skill set, he has the skill set to do it, and as good as these players are nowadays, he's just as good or better even on his B game. He was a transcendent player. He hits the ball 30 yards past Jordan Spieth and has every bit of mental toughness that McIlroy seems to lack at times. He can putt better than Dustin Johnson. I mean, he's got intangibles that other people don't have. So yes, my answer is I would bet on him to win another major unless he's forced to retire from health.
Joe Afera from Titleist is joining us in the studio. Backing Tiger for another major. I guess I'm just a skeptic. I don't know what it is with him in the past. You know what it is? I think I was just let down. I think I was like so into it, and then it started to crumble.
No, I mean the smart money is on him not winning for sure. It would take something. It would be the story of all sports stories for the next 10 years. But if anyone can do it, he's the guy that can do it. If Tom Brady can be playing an AFC champ and Peyton Manning can be winning Super Bowls on the verge of 40 years old, Tiger Woods can certainly win a major in a sport where there's no contact north of 40, I think.
Joe, I know this is your first time on the new version of the show, but we don't appreciate your rational takes and your facts and your measured approach to these things.
It's really making us look bad. So if you could just tone it down a little bit, that would be really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm with you, Joe. I think he gets another one. I think he's too good and too talented, like you said, especially at Augusta, where I mean he knows every blade of grass on the course. I think it's going to happen. It's just a question of when, and again, as long as the back's okay, I don't see any reason that he doesn't win at least one more.
Yeah.
Joe Afera from Titleist joining us. Okay, let's
By the way, while we're talking hot takes a little bit. It seemed like everybody was in a rush to sort of bury Jordan Spieth after what happened at 12. I mean, he seems like one of the most mentally kind of tough guys out there. It seems like if anybody can really kind of just let that go and move on from it, like he's the type of guy that can do something like that. But it seemed like there was a sort of a rush to make a bigger deal out of it than it was. Yes, it was painful. Yes, obviously it's not going to sit well with him for a while. But people are acting like the guy was never going to win there again after what happened on Sunday.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
He'll definitely win there again. I think he'll win there a couple more times. He's a mentally strong, great golfer with an incredible, at that course, which you need, an incredible ability to score and make putts. He's the best putter in the world by far. And he makes a couple better swings, and he's winning by 6 shots. I think it's not a huge difference between him dominating that tournament and him, unfortunately, going the route that he did. But he's one of the top 5 players in the world for a reason, if not the top player at all times. And he'll win again there for sure. And he'll be back next year. It wouldn't surprise me if he won next year by 6 shots. I mean, he's that good.
Let's. I'm going to mark that down as one of your bold statements there, or one of your conclusions that you've jumped to. Actually, well, we don't even. This is actually a problem we've been having on the program lately, Joe. We actually every week, we'll have an idea. It's like that Seinfeld episode where Kramer hires the intern to write down his ideas. We need an intern in this program, and we just can't seem to come up with one. But I'm going to have somebody figure out how to write that down. But let's wrap up here. So Joe Afera joining us in the studio from Titleist saying that first of all, Tiger is going to be back at some point. Also, Jordan Spieth, maybe his pick to take the green jacket again next year. Now that I do agree with, because after watching him on the coming in on Sunday and then on the way out, where he started to pull away and then had the Amen corner happen, it just seems like he's not done with Augusta. It's not gonna beat him. So I'll agree with that there, and I think it's something that would be great to see. Again, as someone who's pretty neutral on him, just as you are on Tiger. But let's wrap up with some bold statements. Okay. I got I got Joe's bold statement. He's also taking the really the Capitals.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
President's Cup trophy. If they're gonna win, it's this year. If they're ever gonna win a Stanley Cup, it's this year. And I'm fully expecting them to lose in the first round, and I won't be hurt by that because that's what they do. But
it's unbelievable.
You've got your guard up still.
I've got my guard up, but it's been a tough road here. But with the Tar Heels and then Jordan Spieth, need a victory here. I'm switching full mode into Washington Nationals season around the corner, and they've gotten off to a good start, but they're not much better at fumbling at the goal line themselves.
Real quick, in addition to creating this program, Joe also gave me my start in coaching at Emerson Waldorf Middle School, girls basketball. So we brought up the Tar Heels there. Do you do anything different on the final play there? I know this has been beat to death defensively. Anything different that you do there? In the national championship game, sorry.
Besides not guard the guy with the ball? I guard the guy with the basketball. I think the guy who's exploited my defense all night, I think I guard him. I think I deny him the basketball and don't give up a three-point shot. I think that's what I would do differently.
This is where I get my coaching chops from. For all my kids that have to deal with me every week that I coach or whatever, that's the kind of mentality, that's where that comes from, right there. Look, the guy that we joked about it last week, Joe. It was like I saw it as a crossover and a rocker step, and he broke down that press like this. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Comes back to wanting it, right? Who wants it more? And they just that'll be another show. Maybe next year's Tar Heel season preview. But I had a lot of thoughts on Tar Heel hoops for another day.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Let's wrap up the show here. Do we have any more bold statements to go out there? Because I don't want to put anybody on the spot or myself.
I got one ready to rock.
Okay, let's get Richard Bruce Allegheny Abernathy there.
In honor of the late great Moses Malone, I think the Warriors go faux. Clean sweep it in the playoffs for the Dubs.
Oh my goodness, I'm creating a sticky note for that on my MacBook right now.
Now that's bold.
Okay, what's the date? 4/12. I'm writing this down. Rich predicts. I guess this is our intern right here. Is the sticky note app on my MacBook. It's been staring me in the face the whole time.
Can we get the paperclip of Microsoft Word to be our intern and just
starts bouncing around the screen? Okay, Rich predicts faux.
So if they were to do that,
the faux by faux, if you will.
If they were to win tomorrow night and go faux, they would be 89-9 on the year.
99-9.
99-9. No, 89. Right? 73 plus 16.
Oh yeah, 89. See, I was testing you.
You must have been taking African American studies in your UNC.
Oh my gosh!
I placed out of math. What do you want from me? So I got a great liberal arts education.
Oh my God! So that's another thing. I forgot that apparently what did Powell call it last week for the Carolina academic situation? A new statement of what was the term he used? I asked him like 4 times last week what it was, but they're basically going to re-deliver what their judgment that Carolina did wrong academically, and is it like
Airing of grievances.
No, that's Festivus.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. No, and so we've got to get Powell back on the show to talk about that. But it sounds like Joe Farah has some very marinated on thoughts when it comes to, they've been slow roasting.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all, another thing that we should all mention, if this wasn't obvious, that all of us went to school together at Carolina, which is of course how we met and started.
Is that where you guys from?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a lot of keg stands. You can't really remember all the. When was the last time anybody did a keg stand? I mean, I haven't done one. Actually, that's not true. That was like a wedding last year, so I guess it's not that long ago for me. But so maybe it's not as far away as I thought. But yeah. So we
I can't remember if Joe's mom had let me play football also, then I could probably remember that.
Oh, you guys. Bruce Arians, we got him on the program.
Here's a bold take. As a former collegiate college football player, my kid will not be playing football. I'll tell you right now.
Is that a bold take?
Are you getting any money from EA Sports, Joe?
I wish I should. Number 13. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just I will. My kid. There's no point. There's no point in. The way I look at it, even if you make it to college football, you make it to NFL, you make it to the top of the mountain there, that's not a good life. No one needs that. Go play something else.
Bold statement from Joe Farah. No football for my kids.
Yeah, I think we need to have Joe back on and do a thorough examination of the NCAA at some point.
Oh, I love to talk about the NCAA.
Let's just go another hour. Why not?
No, we can't. We can't do it. We got to run a re-air General College here in a few minutes. So we
God. Jessamine, where's Jessamine at?
Coach Newman Peoples has to give an inspirational speech in the locker room. We can't miss it. It's sweeps week.
Oh my God. Joe, after you graduated, I don't know if you know this, I played a college basketball coach on General College. I don't know if you were aware of this.
Oh, that's amazing.
For those of you just tuning in or that haven't tuned out yet, General College is a college soap opera based at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, student television that was one of our broadcast partners basically at the network. Was it a network? Yeah, it was a network. We'll call it a network.
A channel.
A channel, yeah. Although I got us online. I started that whole...
That's true.
Big surprise. They're not broadcasting online anymore. Never.
I feel like I was in an episode of General College or one of those shows or something.
Well, they always needed extras, so if you were just in the studio, you just got dragged. Just sit there and read your phone. You don't have to do anything. We just need people to make it look like there's people here.
Side note, but... Not to get.
For it.
I was in a scene where I Jones with a girl.
I remember. No, I remember that. That wasn't General College. That was someone's.
What was that?
It was someone's comm project. Oh my God! No, it was someone's comm project, she was a producer on General College. I remember that.
Yeah. So funny enough, Rich, I had to do a scene where I was a bad boyfriend, where one scene, we were in bed making out, and I had to be oh, I'm not feeling it anymore. And then I saw her on campus and wasn't into her anymore. And the whole thing was because she was an African American girl, and I wasn't I was embarrassed, right? So it was this whole racial tension thing, which is fine. But I remember before the scene, there was two people probably doing the shooting and directing, and me and this girl, and the girl made me do a tequila shot with her beforehand because she was nervous about it. And I was like. We did 2 tequila shots before we kissed for 10 seconds. I was like, damn, kind of interesting. Never forget it though. Never forget it.
That kind of sums up. We might end up going another hour here. That kind of sums up the Joe Farah Carolina schmoopy experience, the Farah era.
Final curveball, strong take for you.
Oh gosh.
Props? You brought props?
Leicester to win the Premiership?
Why are you holding up a Chelsea thing then?
Defending champs. I don't have a Leicester scarf.
Wow, that Leicester winning is not a bold take though.
But it's not bold anymore. But
it is It's. I think it was bold 4 weeks ago. I think everybody figured that it was going to fall apart.
It feels bold to say still, no matter what. Leicester.
It's unbelievable. And as a soccer fan, as a coach, I love it because now what you have is this idea. Really, you know what it is? And this is maybe a whole other topic. We'll bring it back. It is small ball. It is this idea that you don't have to have this gigantic payroll and these mega stars. You can win by playing the game the right way and doing the simple things. And that's what is great about Leicester City. I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing else to it but that, because they don't have superstars. They don't have a big bankroll. They have a very well-established coach. I'm sure he gets paid well, but look at the payrolls of the coaching staffs and the players of other teams that are struggling this year and will continue to struggle. It's beautiful.
I think that's what's great about the Dubs too. Small ball. I know another former, I think he's a former Tar Heel, but Bomani Jones, I heard the other day say that the three-point line should be rid of in the NBA and that we should stop letting people shoot. But come on, dribbling and shooting is cool again. Dribbling and shooting hasn't been cool since Allen Iverson's illegal crossover in the 90s. And now guys are dribbling and like little kids, anybody. You could be 6'2", 6'3", 5'10" if you want. Look at Isaiah Thomas for the Celtics. Like, dribbling and shooting and passing is important again, and I love it. It's amazing.
Interesting. No, let's just go the full hour, guys. It's already 6 past. Let's go for it. Okay, well, let's wrap up the show here. I want to thank DJ Half-Life, Platinum Joe, Joe Slapera, Joe Nick Afera, the Godfather, the creator of the of many of STV programs that have led to this moment for coming on the broadcast. I mean, can we say that we can have you back at some point? Are you open to that?
Guys, it's been an honor. Thanks for having me, and yeah, come back. I'll be back. Love it. Love to talk with you boys.
Should we call you directly? Should we go through your agent? I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I want to make sure we do this the right way.
Yeah, I'll offline. I'll send you my management. It's actually the guy that was living in Reggie Bush's mom's house for a month. He.
You broke James again.
I mean, some people would say he's flawed, but he had a way of doing business, and I trust him. You know, I mean, I'm not paying for this place.
It's like a time capsule. It's like a time capsule.
I have one more question for Joe before we go. I was racking my brain. I was having a debate with a friend of mine the other day. We were trying to decide who the best player in the history of football was, and we couldn't come to an agreement. So if you could settle the debate for everyone in America right now.
Clearly, the best player in the history of football is Arkansas wide receiver Matt Jones.
Oh,
wow.
The original bold statement.
That was it.
And behind him, Wake Forest quarterback shooting guard Rusty LaRue.
They did love to give Rusty LaRue props. That is true.
I feel like Rusty LaRue invented the cocking shotgun shot. I don't know that he did, but after you hit the three, you cock it.
Yeah.
That had to have been Rusty LaRue.
If only he had invented the three goggles, then we'd really have something going.
Yeah, Jake, what's your favorite three-point celebration? Is it the three with the wings? Is it the goggles? What's your?
I like the blowing your brains
out. I knew you were going to say that.
I love this one. If I were playing right now, this is it right here. Gah! Love it. It's so bad. It's so terrible. It's like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm so good. I killed myself. But I love it.
See, I still love when Shaq would dunk and he would run down the court staring at his hand in amazement. I think people should do that more for threes. That's a great one.
That's I'm putting that down on the intern board here. OG Production, best hoops celebrations. We'll break it up into college and pro, obviously, because
I like Vince Carter, how as he got older and went from dunker to three-point shooter, he went with the kind of flying wings with the three-point behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of any Vince Carter celebration, but especially the old man bearded three-point shooting Vince Carter.
Oh, wow.
We need to get the guy who does all the basketball player impressions on Instagram to do like a three-point celebration version.
He's done one. He's done. It's mostly just making fun of Russell Westbrook and somebody else, but we'll put it up. We'll have to put it up in the description of this video. But that guy is crazy. That dude's like on SportsCenter all the time now. Like, from Instagram video. I guess he played in the D League. That's how he kind of.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But I mean,
Jimmer Fredette. What was the dude, the DJ SportsCenter who did the playoffs remix? Steve Porter, Steve Porter.
Yeah, he did the playoffs remix. Yep.
So SportsCenter hired him for like 2 months, and they're like, "Wait a minute, this is stupid. You're done."
Right. He was all over it. He was doing these original pieces for them, and the whole time I just kept waiting for them to be like, when is like the exec or the producer going to realize like there's only so many viral videos that work for like a remix that's like sports related? Because he basically did all of them in like one video. It was like all like we talking about practice, we talking about playoffs, all this stuff. It's like, well, you've basically run out of all the recognizable like news clips there, or sound bites, I should say.
Well, even outside of that, I feel like that's like a common thing. It's like, yeah, we should do like a viral video. It's like, if it was that easy, everybody would do one like every day. Like, you don't know what's going to take off.
As we've talked about on this program many times, this was actually an old statistic: 14 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute, and that was like, I think that's like actually a couple years old. So I don't know what it is now.
Well,
so it's pretty hard.
We'll put up the average.
That's true. We're going another hour here. Actually, we're already 15 minutes in.
I don't know how this all works, but I just sent you a link, homage to my one viral video success back in 2012. 61,000 views. I'm happy with it, and
Did you break up with someone in the pit?
No. It's golf related. You did bring me on to be a golf expert analyst, and I can contribute one golf viral video from 2012 when the first place I saw was the girls at the Lululemon Yoga did the shit yogis say. So I felt compelled to do a shit golfer say.
I do remember this video.
And it does feature PGA Tour player currently, Tyrone Van Aswegen from South Africa.
Let me see if I can, every time I try to screen share, it doesn't ever work because the audio doesn't come through. But what we'll do is we'll put it in the description of this video so that people can see the viral video success that is DJ Half-Life.
Yeah, man. One more plug I'll get in here.
Okay.
Titleist Script Notes, my babies, my pride and joy. They're on Titleist YouTube channel. Go check them out. They're, in my opinion, a first of their kind in the industry, and basically 15 of the top players in the world take you from pre-shot conception of the shot all the way through result. Filmed with phantom cameras, drones, the whole production kit and caboodle was thrown at these things, and they came together pretty nicely. So I just sent you a link there, but check it out.
Okay.
Check it out. Thanks for having me, guys. Love it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. The name of the program is The Word. We're joined today by Joe Afera, the godfather of this program, from Titleist. We're going to put up some links in our description for links to what's going on with Titleist, Script Notes, and of course the what is it? Is it the stuff golfers say? Is that the link?
Yeah, man. Shit golfers say.
Okay. That's the official title. Excellent. Good program, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. For Richard, Bruce, DeLorean Abernathy.
You took it back in time for that one.
Uh-huh. Yep. 88 miles an hour. I am James Mundia. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Peace out.